Welcome back to my channel. The storm began before sunrise, rain hammering against the courthouse roof, like a warning. By 8 a.m., Main Street was lined with media trucks, satellite dishes sprouting like sentinels, cameras aimed at the courthouse steps where reporters huddled under umbrellas. Every eye was fixed on the Browns, facing a trial that would shake their family to its core. Inside, the courtroom was packed. Some faces were familiar from years of television. Others were strangers, drawn by whispers of scandal. The tension was suffocating, not just curiosity, but the weight of broken trust and secrets about to be unveiled. At the center sat Kody Brown, the patriarch who once proudly led a plural family, husband to 4, father to 18. His eyes darted across the courtroom, searching the faces of his former wives, Christine, Janelle, Mary, and Robyn, sitting just feet away, her hands clenched in silent defiance. The judge entered. All rose. The hush was deafening, broken only by the faint scratch of pens and the steady hum of anticipation. Kody stood, then sank back into his seat as if the walls themselves pressed down on him. The case was called Christine Brown, Janelle Brown, and Mary Brown versus Kody Brown and Robyn Brown. Mary's voice followed, quiet but firm. I lost my marriage before I lost my house, but I didn't think I'd lose the family too. I signed papers because I trusted Kody. Now I don't know what to believe. Janelle, pragmatic as ever, added, I managed the family budget for years. Suddenly, the money was gone, and so were my questions. Robyn sat rigid, eyes darting between Kody and the judge, as cameras snapped relentlessly. The judge called for order. This is not a reality show. This is a court of law. Tomorrow, we will hear further testimony and examine the financial evidence in detail. Court is adjourned. The gavel struck. Reporters swarmed. The family scattered. And outside, the rain continued to fall, relentless, unforgiving, like the truth that had finally come to light. Kody and Robyn hurried past, heads down, like shadows fleeing the storm. Christine embraced the nanny, tears streaming down her face. Janelle and Mary walked side by side, silent and steadfast, bound together by betrayal. Outside, the sky remained a relentless gray, rain dripping from the courthouse roof, but inside, a far more dangerous storm had just begun. Day 2 in the courtroom opened with a nervous energy that hummed beneath every whispered word. The rain had stopped, but a cold, unyielding sky pressed down over Flagstaff, echoing the weight of the Browns' unraveling legacy. Reporters jostled for position at the courthouse doors, eyes sharp for any sign of the family. Overnight, the story had exploded. Headlines screamed about the trial over the family fortune. Sister wives at war. Reality TV's darkest scandal yet. Inside, the air felt suffocating. Security was tight. The bailiff watched every arrival like a hawk, determined to prevent chaos from spilling into the halls. Janelle arrived first, flanked by 2 of her children, her steps steady but wary. Christine followed, arm in arm with her eldest daughter, eyes flicking toward the entrance. Mary walked alone, her gaze fixed forward, unreadable. Kody and Robyn entered last, moving together yet apart, their careful, robotic motions betraying the invisible chasm that had formed between them. The judge called the court to order. Today we focus on testimony, truths that will test the very core of this family's legacy. Christine's attorney rose. Ms. Brown, please take the stand. Janelle straightened her skirt and faced the courtroom, a weary determination etched into every line of her face. Years of balancing budgets, calming tempers, and holding the family together had prepared her for many things, but not for turning against the man she once called her soulmate. The attorney asked, "Can you tell the court when you first suspected something was wrong with the family's finances?" Janelle nodded, clearing her throat. It was gradual at first. Small things, the grocery budget came up short, monthly statements didn't match what I expected. At first, I thought I made a mistake, but then larger things started happening. Land taxes doubled overnight. Robyn explained it away, but I never saw the paperwork. Her voice trembled, but her resolve did not. One day I tried to pay a bill from the communal account. My access was denied. I asked Kody, he said it was a technical error. But when I pressed further, he shut me down. After that, Robyn handled all the paperwork. I felt erased. Let Kody handle it. The words echoed, but they did little to ease the gnawing feeling that they were being pushed aside, one decision at a time, one choice at a time. The judge leaned forward, voice calm but probing. "And how did that make you feel, Miss Brown?" Janelle exhaled, her voice cracking. "It made me feel invisible, like I was no longer part of the family. Like all those years meant nothing." Christine sat at the plaintiff's table, tears glistening in her eyes. Her friend, her sister-wife, was telling the world how she'd been erased, not just from a bank account, but from a life she had helped build. The room shifted as the attorney called Robyn Brown to the stand. Cameras clicked, reporters leaned forward, and every eye in the room tracked her entrance. Robyn's face was calm, almost composed, but her hands trembled as she adjusted the microphone. "Mrs. Brown," the attorney began, voice firm, "can you explain why the financial paperwork and property deeds ended up in your control?" Robyn's voice was soft, yet carried steel beneath it. "I handled the paperwork because Kody asked me to. The family trusted me to keep everything organized. We needed to protect the property from legal threats, tax issues, zoning problems. I never did anything behind anyone's back." The attorney's tone hardened. "So, you deny diverting communal funds into separate accounts?" Robyn glanced briefly at Kody, then back at the attorney. "I never did anything illegal. Every dollar was accounted for." A tense pause. The attorney pressed a button, and the courtroom screen flashed with emails, subject lines chilling. "Separate account for our security." The messages revealed Robyn and Kody discussing transferring money to a new account, one that excluded the other wives. Robyn's voice wavered. That was only to protect us. We feared Christine or Janelle might leave, and we didn't want the land split up." The judge leaned forward, eyes sharp. "So, you admit you hid funds?" For a moment, Robyn's resolve cracked. "I did what I thought was best for Kody, for our kids. The other wives, they never understood what it takes to keep this family safe." Gasps rippled through the room. The line between defense and confession blurred. The attorney shifted tactics. "Let's talk about the children. Were they aware of these financial changes?" Robyn regained some of her composure.
"No.
The children shouldn't be involved in adult issues. We kept them out of it for their own good." The attorney smiled faintly. "That's not what some of the children will say under oath." A ripple of shock ran through the room. Savannah Brown, Janelle's daughter, was called to the stand. Quiet but firm, she spoke. "We all noticed things changing. We weren't allowed to ask about money anymore. When I asked Dad why Mom couldn't use the family card, he said, 'Don't worry about grown-up stuff.' But Mom worried all the time. It stopped feeling like a family. It started feeling like a secret club with new rules." The courtroom held its breath as more children testified. Gabriel and Gwendolyn voiced confusion and heartbreak. Aurora, Robyn's daughter, tried to defend her mother's choices. The judge listened, expression unreadable, weighing every word. Mary took the stand next, her voice steady but heavy. "At first, we all agreed, family first, no secrets. But over time, it felt like new rules appeared. Rules no one talked about. I signed papers because Kody asked me to, but I didn't know what I was signing. I wanted to believe it was for all of us. Now, I don't know." The cross-examination was brutal. Kody's attorney tried to paint Mary and Janelle as bitter, jealous, grasping at a life that was gone. But the jury saw something else entirely. Years of loyalty fractured by secrecy, trust pushed to its breaking point. And the question hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. Have you ever seen loyalty tested like this, stretched until it snaps? Who will break first in this courtroom battle? By midday, the atmosphere was thick with exhaustion and tension. Outside, media vans reported every word, speculating who might crack under pressure, who might settle, and whether the Brown Empire could survive this unraveling. Just when it seemed the day was winding down, Christine's attorney rose, eyes sharp. "Your Honor, Before the next recess, my client has one final piece of evidence to submit. The courtroom buzzed. Christine stepped toward the witness stand, clutching a manila folder. Her hands trembled, but her eyes were steady, resolute. I found this hidden in a storage unit Kody and I once shared. Financial statements or records from an account in both Kody's and Robyn's names. The transfers match the dates in the nanny's diary. It shows money moved from our joint account secretly over the past 3 years. She handed the folder to the bailiff, who passed it to the judge. Frowning, the judge flipped through the documents. This evidence will be examined in detail tomorrow. The gavel struck.
Court adjourned.
The Browns scattered, Kody and Robyn whispering furiously, the other wives clinging together, children caught in the middle. Outside, the crowd erupted. Cheers.
Boos.
Flashing cameras. And as the sun dipped behind the courthouse, one thing was clear. No matter who won, the family everyone thought they knew had been changed forever. Even the sunlight slicing through the narrow courthouse windows seemed muted, wary of illuminating the truth. Crowds gathered at the courthouse steps, some waving handmade signs demanding justice for the sister wives, others simply hungry for the next explosive chapter. Every eye, from the judge's stern gaze to the relentless camera lenses, was fixed on Christine. Inside, the Brown family sat fractured along invisible fault lines. Christine rested the folder of secret financial statements on the table. Janelle leaned close, silent strength in her posture. Mary fidgeted nervously. Across the aisle, Kody and Robyn whispered, faces composed but strained at the edges. Children exchanged anxious glances throughout the gallery. The judge called the court to order. We will now hear testimony and examine the evidence submitted yesterday by the plaintiff, Kody Brown. Christine took the stand, folder in hand. Her gaze met the judge's before sweeping over the jury. I wish I wasn't here today. I wish none of us were. But the truth is the only way forward, for us, for our kids, for everyone watching. The attorney projected the financial statements onto a large screen. The first page revealed a chilling pattern. Thousands of dollars siphoned from the family's communal accounts into a secret account held only by Kody and Robyn. Christine explained, voice thick with emotion. For years, we agreed everything would be shared. But these statements showed money disappearing month after month. It started small, $200 here, $500 there. Then $5,000 at a time, always around taxes or major family expenses. I confronted Kody once. He told me not to worry, that he was handling it. She paused, tears welling. But he wasn't handling it for us. He was handling it for himself and Robyn. A collective gasp swept the courtroom. Robyn pressed her lips together, hands trembling. Kody clenched his jaw, staring down at the defense table. Christine's attorney zeroed in, every word surgical. Let's focus on one date in particular, April 14th, 2022. $10,000 moved out of the joint account immediately after a family meeting about Coyote Pass taxes. Did you know about this transaction at the time? Christine shook her head.
No.
I didn't find out until months later. When I asked about the taxes, Robyn said everything was handled. She never showed receipts. That's when I started digging. The attorney produced another document, an email from Robyn to Kody, subject line, for our eyes only. Robyn had written, once the money is in the new account, I'll handle the paperwork. Don't tell Christine or Janelle. They wouldn't understand. The courtroom held its breath. Christine's voice, simple but devastating, cut through. Did I ever receive an explanation from Kody or Robyn about these hidden transfers? Never. Every time I asked, I was told I was being dramatic, that I should just trust the family. But trust doesn't mean keeping secrets. The judge turned to the defense. Kody's attorney stood, attempting composure. Your Honor, these transactions were necessary family business. The money went toward obligations, debts, legal fees, emergencies. My clients acted in good faith. The plaintiffs were informed afterward, if not before. Christine's attorney didn't flinch. If it was truly above board, why the secrecy? Why exclude 3 wives from their own finances? Kody's defense faltered. The jury's skepticism was palpable. Whose side are you on so far? Does Kody and Robyn's defense hold, or is Christine's evidence too powerful to ignore? Meanwhile, the courtroom's emotional temperature soared. Janelle stared at the screen, her face a mask of betrayal. And outside, everyone watching knew this was far more than a legal battle. It was the unraveling of a family that had once seemed untouchable. Mary hunched over, fighting back tears. Then, in a moment that shocked everyone, she asked to speak. The judge nodded. Mary rose, voice hesitant at first, then gaining strength with each word. I have something to add. Years ago, I signed a set of documents Kody put in front of me. He told me it was for a new trust to protect the land. I never read the fine print. I wanted to be helpful. Now looking back, I realize I signed away my own claim to Coyote Pass. I did it because I trusted my family. I never imagined that trust would be broken. The courtroom fell silent. Even the click of a camera seemed sacrilegious. Mary's admission shifted the entire mood. Now, this case was not just about money. It was about trust, betrayal, and the cost of faith in the people you love. Christine's attorney seized the momentum, submitting Mary's signed documents into evidence. Dates were compared to major withdrawals from the family accounts. Patterns emerged, every signature, every trust-building conversation coinciding with transfers. The judge's face remained impassive. This court recognizes a pattern of financial obfuscation and possible coercion. We will review this evidence in detail. Suddenly, the defense called for a recess. Whispers erupted throughout the courtroom. Reporters rushed to send breaking news alerts. Sister wives. Mary admits unwittingly signing away stake in Coyote Pass. In the hallways, the family fragmented. Kody and Robyn huddled with their lawyer, whispering urgently. Christine, Janelle, and Mary clung to each other, a circle of solidarity amidst flashing cameras and curious onlookers. Rumors swirled. Would the judge refer this case to criminal court? Would Kody take the stand next? Social media erupted with theories, accusations, and predictions. Could this family recover from such deep betrayal, or was the damage permanent? The judge addressed the room. The evidence submitted today, bank statements, emails, and sworn testimony, raises significant questions about financial misrepresentation and undue influence. Tomorrow, the court will allow the defense to present its evidence and challenge these claims. Kody and Robyn's attorney rose, face grim. Your Honor, we request the court examine the authenticity of these documents. All actions taken were lawful. Any misunderstanding stems from the complexity of the family's financial arrangements, not criminal intent. The jury's skepticism was clear. Outside, media coverage intensified. News tickers blared. Christine's bombshell, secret accounts, broken trust. The family filed out in silence. Christine walked with dignity, followed by Janelle and Mary, their faces reflecting the weight of the day. Kody and Robyn lingered at the back, isolation closing around them. For viewers and onlookers alike, one truth was undeniable. The Brown family's unity had shattered, and the next day would reveal just how far the cracks went. Cross-examination of Robyn Brown began. The fourth day opened with an unnatural stillness. The air inside the courtroom seemed to hold its breath. Reporters lingered in the halls, phones ready, as social media continued to explode. #Brown Trial was trending worldwide. Inside, Christine, Janelle, and Mary shared a quiet, determined solidarity. Kody looked pale and restless. Robyn, hands trembling as she shuffled papers, would soon face a relentless cross-examination. The judge's voice rang sharp. We will allow the defense to respond and cross-examine the plaintiff's evidence. Mrs. Robyn Brown, you may take the stand. Robyn approached carefully. Her lawyer rose. Mrs. Brown, you've been accused of orchestrating secret financial dealings. What do you say to these claims? Robyn's voice was thin but determined. I did what any wife would do. I protected my family. The world doesn't understand what it's like to have your life and children scrutinized. We were threatened by creditors, by the media, even by some in our own family. I made decisions to keep our home, our land safe. Christine's attorney rose immediately. Is it your testimony that you never hid accounts or withheld information from Christine, Janelle, or Mary? Robyn glanced at Kody, then back at the attorney. I may have been less than transparent, but not out of greed, out of fear. Every decision was for the family's good. Inside, Christine, Janelle, and Mary shared a quiet, determined solidarity. Kody looked pale and restless. Robyn, hands trembling as she shuffled papers, would soon face a relentless cross-examination. The judge's voice rang sharp. We will allow the defense to respond and cross-examine the plaintiff's evidence. Mrs. Robyn Brown, you may take the stand. Robyn approached carefully. Her lawyer rose. Mrs. Brown, you've been accused of orchestrating secret financial dealings. What do you say to these claims? Robyn's voice was thin but determined. I did what any wife would do. I protected my family. The world doesn't understand what it's like to have your life and children scrutinized. We were threatened by creditors, by the media, even by some in our own family. I made decisions to keep our home, our land safe. Christine's attorney rose immediately. Is it your testimony that you never hid accounts or withheld information from Christine, Janelle, or Mary? Robyn glanced at Kody, then back at the attorney. I may have been less than transparent, but not out of greed, out of fear. Every decision was for the family's good. Mary hunched forward, shoulders tight, fighting back tears she refused to let fall. Then, unexpectedly, she rose to her feet. Your Honor,
I need to speak.
a ripple passed through the courtroom. Even the judge, hardened by decades of cases, paused. You may proceed, Mrs. Brown. Mary's voice trembled at first, but every sentence grew stronger, steadier, more devastating. Years ago, Kody brought me documents to sign. He said it was for a family trust to protect Coyote Pass. I didn't question it. I didn't read the fine print. I trusted him. I trusted all of them. She swallowed hard. But now I know. I signed away my rights. I signed away my piece of the land. And I only did it because I believed he would never betray me. The room went still. Even the photographers stopped clicking, afraid to break the gravity of the moment. Mary's admission changed everything. Before this moment, the case had been about money, but now it was about faith, loyalty, and the price of blind trust. Christine's attorney struck fast. She submitted Mary's signed documents into evidence, laying each page beside timestamps of massive withdrawals from the family account. A pattern emerged like a bruise blooming under harsh light. Every signature, every trust-building conversation, every reassurance from Kody, it all lined up with a transfer of funds. The judge leaned back, his expression darkening. This court recognizes a pattern of financial obfuscation and possible coercion. We will review all documents in detail. The defense immediately panicked. Your Honor, we request a recess.